Saturday's loss to the Bengals, here's some numbers to consider. Points generated by the Patriots the first half. Second half, a little better. First downs, you see it all right there. Bill Belichick after the game, he had this to say when probed about, well, who's to blame for all this, Bill?
Bill, you've repeatedly taken responsibility for the offense this season. When you don't cross midfield till the end of the third quarter, you get 12 points here today. How much of that is your responsibility? Your players were well-positioned enough to win today.
Yeah, I'm the head coach.
Yeah, he is.
True.
He's the head coach. I happen to be the fill-in host tonight. I'm Tom Curran. That's Michael Hurley from CBS. And, Michael, here's what's unfathomable to me. You got a game of this import for the Patriots. They utterly no-show in the first half, fall behind 22-0, but the solace that people are drawing right now from the Patriots' second half, where they get it to 22-18, is really drawn from a performance that was achieved by the Bengals just kind of going to sleep at the switch. That's what's unfathomable to me when I look at the context of this whole season. Their most important game after the embarrassment in Vegas, they didn't show up for the first 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that's as much as you want to be encouraged by the near comeback. A, they fumbled it away again for the second straight game. But B, to your point, I don't know that the Bengals, I don't know what they did at halftime, but it seems like human nature to let up off the gas pedal. And I do think that was a factor. But my biggest takeaway, my feeling on that game, Tom.
What's your feeling on that?
Is that it was a reminder of the potential that this team could have if the offense was functional. Because you had a defense, literally, there was factors at play. But the defense was dominant in that second half. They allowed, 6 first downs after 22 in the first half? So that defense can play. They can make plays. They can get forced fumbles in the fourth quarter that used to lead to wins. But the offense just can't. It's just sputtering, and that's what your team is.
Yep, but it's hope against hope. And there was a comment that Joe Burrow made after the game. And he said, someone said a leading question about, hey, these are the kind of games that you Super Bowl aspirants, you guys want to win and show something to yourself. And he actually said, well, yeah, but if you want to win a Super Bowl, you finish a team off earlier. And the Patriots are now a team that is capable of being finished off. I remember when teams like the Bengals came into Gillette Stadium, and the Patriots, after a 22-18 win or 30-13, might be kicking rocks, and Tom Brady would be all sullen and sunken-cheeked at the podium afterwards because they let a team hang around. Or they went 5 for 13 on third down instead of 7 for 13. And to me, that's where the Patriots are right now. I don't know if the defense is as good as we think it is, or if the Bengals were complicit in they had a drop touchdown pass and then missed a field goal. There's 7 points off the board right there, Mike.
The kicker certainly didn't have his best game.
But there was a drop touchdown pass. We're missing that 7 points.
Mr. Trenton Irwin, who had 2 touchdowns in his career,
yeah,
almost had 3 in the game.
Too much to ask.
Yeah, no, I think that's in. You want to go back in the Wayback Machine. That's one where the Patriots always won. Where there was the graphic on the screen at the beginning of the second quarter. It was the biggest deficit since the 2013 Broncos. And you're like, I remember that game.
Right.
The crazy overtime game. They came back. They had no business winning, and they won. This was one where they had no business winning. They forced the turnover and still don't win. It just seems like the actual execution, the actual gotta-have-it, game-winning moments escape this team. Now, I don't know how many games that they've lost that they were in and could have won but didn't. It's 4, 5, 6. There's a lot of them now.
You mentioned that game against the Denver Broncos. They're down 24-0 at halftime. It's a windy night. They're playing Peyton Manning. And even as they left the field in that game, and later that season against the San Francisco 49ers, a similar deficit. And you're like, they're going to come back. It's going to be a close game. Even at 28-3 in that Super Bowl, I said the Falcons have been on the field too long. If the Patriots just get a couple of breaks, they have a shot at coming back if you're looking for a silver lining. There was an inevitability to it. When the Patriots got the ball back on Sunday, after the fumble from Jamar Chase, similar to the fumble by DeAndre Hopkins week prior, 2 weeks, but when they got the fumble, I said, now they're in a position, especially after getting down inside the 20, I said, they're a team now that you feel as if they're going to find a way to flock this thing up. And they did. All right, time for the Daily Drive. It's presented by Nissan. Don't let amazing offers pass you by at the Nissan Thrill of the Drive event. You got Altimas, you got Pathfinders, I love talking car talk.
This guy with cars, don't get him started.
I do. NissanUSA.com. Here's some wild numbers from the first half against the Bengals that our guy Michael Hurley dug up right at the break. 20 non-kneel down plays were run by the Patriots offense. One of them went for 29 yards. Kendrick Bourne, hello. One play went for 11 yards. There was another one for 9, another one for 6. Other than that, 9 plays for 0. Those would be incompletions or negative yards. When you look at this output, I really want to focus on 2 plays in particular. The 2 first third downs of the game, Michael. The first third down, I'm going to let you elaborate on the first third down of the game.
Yeah, the first third down, you have 3rd and 4. You need 4 yards. Typically, a team that knows what it's doing is going to run a couple guys, maybe like a little return route, maybe a little stop route, get to the sticks, move the chains. It's football 101. The Patriots ran 3 guys deep. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, one of them ran the wrong route, collided. Hunter Henry left the game. Mac Jones with nowhere to go, tries to run, can't run, gets taken down at the line of scrimmage.
Lays down like a fawn in the pasture when he knew he was going to get
Yeah, I thought he had a chance to get to the corner, but I guess when your 2 tight ends run into each other, it doesn't really matter.
He's seen enough. I mean, he had seen enough collisions. Of course, Hunter Henry will now be questionable for this week. This is what defies logic for me. It's week 15. When you script plays, you script offensively what you're planning to do. You're going to hit third down during the week. You're going to talk about what we're going to do on our first third down. You dummy it, you walk through it, you have all the assistant coaches go through it. And then to have 2 guys run into each other. Either the coaches aren't getting the point across or the players aren't taking the point. Second, third down in the game, what happened, Michael?
Yeah, the second, third down, that would be when Mac Jones looked out to his trips formation on the right, gave a little wrist signal, sort of saying it's wide receiver screen time. No one got that signal. Mac takes the snap, goes to throw the screen, no one's there. Fortunately, he pockets it. That's good. Throws it in the ground, gets mad, gesticulates. The Patriots punt, as they tend to do.
Again, these are the first 2 third downs of the game. So what happened afterwards? You have 2 touchdowns the Patriots generated after that, which were kind of dumb luck. But after that, if you start that flat and show that you're not ready at the beginning of the game, to me, that's a full-on announcement that we're not ready to go and we're just not that into it, which is an unbelievable admission. Although, in the second half, when Mac was confronted with a 22-0 deficit and they went a little bit up-tempo, they looked better. But, of course, his game was blemished at the end by the Eli Apple slide tackle, Mike.
That's true.
Dirty play?
I mean, yeah. I think there's an element of Mac sort of lashing out and maybe getting his temper up a little bit. That's what it seems like to me when you take a hit like that. And the explanation that he was trying to block him from getting to Thornton, that's it's difficult to really buy.
I mean, I don't.
You can stand in the way.
I don't not buy it. If you don't want to get hit, veer off. If you want to throw a block, throw a block.
Yeah.
Or just a shove or a check or whatever. You know, I know, he knows, and everybody in the NFL knows that when you hit the deck in front of an on-rushing player, you're going at his knees.
Yeah.
It's verboten. Don't do it.
It's tough when you're a quarterback, too, because guys are clearly taking note. You look at all the tweets and everything, and the Panthers are probably still mad about last year, which I thought was an overreaction, but obviously it's on tape and it's in people's minds, so it's something he's going to have to deal with when he faces these pass rushers that might not like him.
You know, I do always love the indignation of defensive players who will wrench, tear, rip, and otherwise destroy any player they can. We saw that tonight, actually, on the Monday night game with Derwin James. Yet they act so indignant and offended when anything happens to them, as this is outside the code.